Hello, Raza.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well. Lovely to see you from Dubai.
It's good to see you as well. And hello, Shadie.
Hello. Hi, Yarden.
I want us to start with talking about how leadership coincide the paths of both of you. So I'll be happy if you can tell us, how did you meet in the first place?
So doing business development for many years for Israeli company in the global market, and when this possibility to make business with Bahrain and UAE have opened, I reached to some organization from there, and that's when I learned about the Social Capital Club that Raza founded in Dubai, and also his intention to found a similar network in Israel. So I joined one of their conference call and via Zoom, and that was the first time I heard Raza speaking. And I was so influenced from his mission and vision that I realized that that's the real sustainable leadership that we all dream about and talk about. And I saw him setting example for that. So I reached out to him, and since then we were in contact.
Raza, for how long are to connect?
Well, we just connected a few weeks ago, but seems like forever because there was a very natural and real connection, and with a group of trusted people. And we were just talking about how we could focus on building a social capital club, which actually encourages entrepreneurs, startups and innovation, social entrepreneurs and nonprofits to work collaboratively to contribute to their own communities. So it's about building a network of trusted people. And sure enough, we immediately connected.
So let's talk about opportunities. After Israel and the Emirates sign a peace agreement, I can only imagine a lot of people ask themselves about the business potential. So where do you see the opportunities for businessmen from both countries?
So there's no doubt, Yarden, that this agreement is bringing many possibilities to both sides, starting with the obvious. So we have two strong economies, a very strong GDP, impressive GDP per capita, and some shared values. Both countries want to be very unique. Both countries want to challenge the status quo. Both countries want to excel in everything they do. Both countries have amazing entrepreneurship spirit. And both countries are ranked very high on the Happiness World Index. That's also impressive. Now, when we take that, and there are also additional sectors which we can find very nice synergies in that sectors like agriculture and food tech to support the challenges of food security, or technology and water tech and renewable energy. So there are many sectors which we can find synergies, and companies that have a value proposition and have a differentiated product. Those companies will be able to leverage this agreement to create a long-term business case. But what I really love about this agreement is not this direct trade that is going to happen. What I really love is the impact, the social impact that will result out of this amazing business relationship. Because all my life I believed that business is the only way to create real peace. And country leaders, they enable business. Business make networking communities, and networking communities make peace. We saw that here in Israel. As more as we connect the Arabic sector to the Israeli economy, we connect them to the innovation hubs, to the corporates. As more as we do that, we create a stronger society and a better coexistence. And that's what I want to see. I want to see in the relationship of Israel and the UAE that in 3 or 5 or 7 years from now, when we will have joint development together, joint companies together, when my company will have an office in Dubai, and Emirati employees will mentor us from their experience how to do business in India or Singapore or Japan. When an Emirati scientist will come to Tel Aviv and relocate to Israel and work with Israeli scientists to cure cancer, when people from both sides will realize how much we have in common, how much we can learn from each other, and how great impact we can make together, when that will happen, peace will be much closer. And I hope that other countries will join and will encourage to join, and also the Palestinians, because I believe that through business, technology, and innovation, the children of Abraham can unite. And this is my dream, Yarden.
Raza, do you share this perspective?
I think it's something that the whole world has to look at humanity first and the good for humanity. And I think all businesses lead to good to humanity as long as we are making sure that we are not really being very selfish. So So that's a discussion we can go on later. But coming back to your question on opportunities, so I do agree with Shadie that opportunities in technology, innovation, agri-tech, and the water tech. So there is a lot of opportunity for both countries and the regions to benefit from one another. There are a lot of opportunities in real estate, hospitality that is yet to be explored because tourism is a very good opportunity for both sides. And myself, I'm neither a UAE national nor am I born over here. So I actually choose, I'm from Pakistan originally, and I choose to live over here by choice because it is so convenient to do business here. It gives a lot of opportunity very openly to everybody to come and welcome them. And I think this is a good platform for people to come here and explore what are the possibilities. Real businesses will only happen once you get to know each other, build that level of trust, and look in depth on what opportunity really works best for you.
So we know that in our days, when we talk about business, a lot of people looking for the bottom line of profits. And I want to ask you, how do you solve the conflict between making money and doing good deeds? Or how do you use business to do good?
Now, this is a very interesting question because this is something I've been in search of for more than a decade. And many years ago, I heard the terminology triple bottom line. And for those of you who haven't heard that, it is the economic bottom line, which is the money of and the profits, financial, but also not to ignore the social impact and the environmental impact of your business. Right? There is a very clear-cut method of calculating your economic impact. There's also a reasonably accurate way of seeing your environmental impact. But there was no way of checking your social impact. I tried working on it with many large organizations. I failed because it was very difficult to put dollars and cents to that number. But moving forward, I was told there is no business that actually doesn't have a good social impact. So what am I worried about? When I studied a little bit more, I realized only bad social impact is when businesses become selfish and then they start human exploitation for their personal profits. So as long as a business is doing what it needs to do economically, and which is the most important purpose, without really harming the humanity and the society, and keeping in mind our planet Earth, I think businesses only will continue to add to this world. So that's my perspective of this is not two different thing. I think if there used to be an old saying, you feed man for a day, you just feed him for a day. You know, you give man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. But if you teach him how to fish sustainably, you will feed the whole village. So it's not about that one man anymore. Now we have to see how to feed the whole village.
Can you tell us about the moment or the occasion in which you decided to focus on philanthropy and not only on business?
See, I can share with you my personal belief, which is probably not a very regular one for everybody, which I think should be, which is I believe giving is an attitude and not a privilege. We are born with the feeling that, you reach up to a certain stage and then you start giving. But honestly, when it means giving, it does not only mean giving money. It means giving your time, giving your efforts to somebody, giving a seat to somebody to sit next to you. You see, giving is in an attitude. When I had nothing, I started at the age of 18 with $200. I had nothing financially to give. I started giving blood. So I personally feel that there was no one incident that I reached and after that I started philanthropy. I actually was blessed enough to understand that giving and sharing is part of our life and sharing is true joy. So it brings a lot of happiness to us all the way through, because if we learn that happiness does not only come from money, but it comes from family, from sharing, from giving, we would probably earn a lot more all our lives.
Shadie, I want to ask you a last question about how the Israeli Leadership Forum encourage businessmen and businesswomen to act for a better world.
So, Yarden, leadership is about envisioning and shaping the future. Leadership is about influencing and motivating others to join you to that mission. And it's our responsibility as business leaders to create a better future, to shape a better future. And you know, in the past, business leaders were all about maximizing shareholders' value. We want the leaders of the future to look how their actions can impact also customers, also their employees, also the wider society, and also the planet. And that's what we want to see. Now, what we are, the Israeli Leadership Forum, the ILF, is formed for more than 500 influencers, motivators, CEOs, and senior executives from the private sector and the public sector as well. We all share common values of leadership development, sustainability, social solidarity, entrepreneurship development, and coexistence. And we all are acting on those values with the vision to promote the Israeli society and create a better place to live in. So we do that by mentorship programs, where we have more than 6 mentorship programs to create the leaders of the future, because real leadership is not to create followers, it's to create and grow leaders. Number 2, we are working on enrichment workshops on a monthly basis for all our community to learn how to grow themselves, to give them the toolbox to grow themselves and grow their companies. And we are doing connecting between the different sectors that make up the Israeli society, the Arabic sector, the Orthodox sector, by connecting people, connecting organization, and learning about each other. So that's what we are doing, starting with ourselves, because they say before you want to change the world, start with yourself. So we at the ILF are starting with ourselves to become better leaders and hopefully create a better society, a better country, and perhaps a better world.
Shadie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Raza, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak.